Welcome to our second meeting. Sorry I wasn't with you guys last week. One of my friends had passed away suddenly, so it's been a rough week, but back on schedule. And so we went over your why, and I believe that's what we talked about last week. So this week we're going to be talking a little bit about the 3 vital behaviors, because this is really key to what Beachbody is all about. Freddie, are you there? Can you hear me? All right. Maybe he'll be getting on in a second. So 3 vital behaviors. 1 is be a product of the product. So drink your shake and do your workout, which is pretty self-explanatory, but we are really like an inspiration to other people. So if they see you doing it, they're going to naturally ask, you know, what you're doing. And that's really all it is having other people see what you're doing and see that you love it and that you're getting great results. And then they're going to ask questions, you know, hence the social media part. So that's the first one, be a product of the product. The second one is, I think the most important is personal development, because if your mind is not right, you're not going to be able to get those 3 things done every day, the 3 vital behaviors, which is what you really need to build a business. And if you're doing these 3 things consistently every day, I mean, you're going to be unstoppable. And that's really what it's all about. So it's like so simple. Hey, Freddie, can you hear me now? No?
I think you have them muted.
Oh, I have to.
I got it. There we go.
All right. Hey, guys.
Hello. Sorry, keep going. Don't mind me.
Where was I? Personal development. You guys have like one of the 3 books that we recommended, or maybe you have some other book or audio that you like listening to. But really, this is just to get your mind right. I like to do it first thing in the morning, just because it gets my mindset, you know, right for the day. The compound effect, go pro or go for no, you should have. And you can type whatever questions you have in the chat box. But these are 3 great books to start us off with. The compound effect really speaks to some kids in the background, I think.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
I'm trying to find my.
There it is.
Okay. What was I saying? Consistency. Yeah, that's basically the compound effect is all about consistency. And over time, it's like, he gives the great example of a smoker. So in, you know, the first week or 2, you don't really see any effects of, you know, you don't see his lungs, you don't see the guy coughing all the time. He's just going about his daily business, you know, but he smokes a couple packs a day, big deal. And then over time, you know, when he's 80 years old and he's speaking through a windpipe, it's only then that you see the effects of what he's done on a day-to-day basis over time. So I think for a lot of people that this is the most important thing, regardless of Beachbody, regardless of your business. If you start your workout routine, if you're like, yes, I'm ready, like that's probably how half of you got in here, is you said, yes, I'm ready to make a commitment, I'm ready to change. And you started doing small little incremental things over time, and now, you know, you've had either a great transformation or you're working on it, and you can see how those little things build up. So that's basically the compound effect. And if you've already started reading it, you have an idea what it's all about. So, and the third vital behavior that we're, supposed to be doing every single day to be a successful coach is invite, invite, invite. So this is probably why you need the personal development, because when you get home from a long day of work, you're really not going to want to sit down and talk to people and get out of your comfort zone on Messenger, because we're not used to doing that. I remember helping a few of my coaches in the beginning, and myself included. I was like, you want me to randomly reach out to people and say, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm not going to do that. But now it's like second nature because of the compound effect, and I've been doing it so long. It's like, I don't care anymore. And I enjoy having those conversations. So, and of course, talk with your coach if you have any questions about what those people are saying to you. But yes, that's the third vital behavior, which is so important. So I know Freddie and Tony have, their own versions of what they do, but these, according to Beachbody, are the 3 vital behaviors that you need to be doing every single day.
Yeah, if we want to kind of break them down one by one, product of the product, to me, it's a health and fitness business. So you don't have to be perfect on your health and fitness journey, but you got to show people that you're working at it. So be smart. If you're at work and everyone's ordering subs for lunch, then maybe you want to be the one that orders the salad with grilled chicken. That's being a product of the product, making better choices. It's not just Beachbody wise. Obviously, drink your shake every day. But I'm not the typical guy that only does P90X, only does T25. I go to the gym, but people see me as someone. My cats are going crazy. People see me as someone on my health and fitness journey. They know I'm not perfect, but they can relate to that. So they have no problem asking me questions, and not all the questions I'm going to answer with, well, you need this Beachbody product, you need that Beachbody product. I try to help them on their fitness journey. Well, I tried this, and this kind of worked out pretty well. And now they develop trust in me because I'm giving them insight on what works. So product of the product, I drink Shakeology every single day. It's the healthiest meal. I put it in my body every single day. And for that reason alone, whether I was a Beachbody coach or not, the way that makes me feel, I would drink it every day. But product of the product just means being on your health and fitness journey and trying to make good decisions along the way. Let people see you as someone on your health and fitness journey, and then you're going to see it might start off small. You're the one ordering the salad while everyone else is ordering chicken fingers and pizza and subs. But then the next week, someone else grabs a salad with you. And then the third week, now there's 3 people. It starts small, but show them that you're on your fitness journey. So I think if people do that, then the questions kind of gravitate towards you. And like I said, they might not all be Beachbody questions, but they're seeing you as someone on your journey. Eventually, you'll be able to lead them in the Beachbody direction.
Yeah, so no peeps, right, Tony?
Hey,
And
like I said, I'm not perfect.
No marshmallow peeps, and just always make sure that you're posting your crock pot recipes.
Yeah.
Way to engage them. But yeah, we're all people that are on this health and fitness journey, and people that are a work in progress. So, like Tony said, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be showing people that they're doing it. In fact, people will probably be able to relate to you a little bit more if you're not perfect, because nobody is. So being able to relate to people is really important. So being a product of the product, whatever that means to you. And like I said, the personal development, and like Erica said, find what works for you. I started out in Coach Basics with the Compound Effect, and then moved on to GoPro. But whatever works for you. In addition to that, it's going to be something that's it's going to help you get through difficult times, whether it's just motivating yourself to do the 3 vital behaviors in general, or if it's a specific circumstance that comes up. So if that does happen, if you have issues that come up, obviously continue to work with your coach, but it's some of that personal development that's really going to help. Right, Kelly? Kelly's one of the my newer coaches that's really been getting out there and trying to get her message out to all of her military friends. And those CrossFitters are a tough group. But those 3 vital behaviors are really important to practice. So, you have anything to add, Erica? Anything else that you?
No, I think we covered the 3 vital behaviors, but I want to say, like, it all stems back to your why. So, like, if you don't do these 3 vital behaviors, that just means that your why is not strong enough. And it's just that simple. It's so funny because people are like, what's the secret sauce? What do you like say to people? I've just been consistent every single day, and I know Tony and Freddie can attest to the same thing. It's really, we all have the same products, we all have the same training, but it's what you do with that really determines how successful you are and how many people you help on your journey.
Yeah, it's funny. When I started, I didn't really know what I was doing. When I came in, nobody really had a clue. We were just kind of winging it. And my business has shifted so many times. I was the guy, kind of like the Shakeology salesman early on. So that was kind of what I was doing. And then I turned it into house parties. And then I turned myself into the guy that was going to teach you how to make money from home. And now, which seems to be the most successful, running these challenge groups. But no matter what I did, I was successful because my why was very powerful. And the personal development was being done on a daily basis, and I considered myself unstoppable. I'm going to pull this off no matter how I do it. I'm going to figure it out. I know I'm going to come across my speed bumps, but I know at the end of the day, my vision and my why is what I'm going after. So I think people will ask for that special sauce. There is no special sauce. Just like any other business in the world, you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to focus. You're going to have to make some sacrifices here and there. But once all this comes together, then you're going to live a life like you never imagined. I get up whenever I want. I go to bed whenever I want. I make more money than I would ever possibly need. And that happened in 4 years. It actually kind of happened in 3 years because my why was strong. I did do my personal development. I'm a product of the product, and nothing was going to slow me down. Looking back, I look at what I've done in this business as far as the angles that I've taken, and I look back and I'm like, geez, I can't believe I got people to kind of join my team that way, doing what I was doing. Now, if a new coach came in and was like, I'm going to do this, what I was doing earlier, I'd be like, well, don't do that. But when you have confidence in yourself, that comes from personal development. When your why is strong and you have a passion behind what you're doing, people are going to follow you. And the only way that's all going to come together is when you do your daily disciplines. And pretty much when you do your personal development, you're a product of the product, and you're invited into the challenge groups. When you piece it all together, like I said, you become a powerful force. And no matter what direction I was going in, I was kind of doing all those things, which allowed me to be successful in this business.
I mean, I always think about Apple. Like, why does Apple stand out? They have, the same products as Dell. They sell computers, but they do it in a different way. Maybe I can post, there's a great video by Simon Sinek, and I think it says start with why, something like that. I'll post it on the page. But it basically says that they're successful because they do it from the inside out. They say they want to help you first, and they say we actually happen to design really great computers, but this is why we do. We want to change the innovation. We want to change how people think about interfacing and, how easy it is to use. No one's ever done that before. They really, it's Apple. Everyone knows Apple. Everyone knows Beachbody because of what they've done. We're not selling makeup. We're not selling, Tupperware. We're changing lives. That's pretty cool. And I don't think any other company is greater than Beachbody to be a part of right now. So far, we've talked about a little bit of
obviously we talked about our why when we first started, and introducing kind of, what the products are, and posting effectively on Facebook. So last week we talked about developing that list, and expanding it. So today we actually introduced the BAT, which is the Business Activity Tracker. And that basically includes what we were just talking about, the 3 vital behaviors. So on the Business Activity Tracker, if you follow that every day, you're going to hit the 3 vital behaviors. So that Business Activity Tracker will tell you, send your invites out 3 to 5 a day. Have you drank your Shakeology? Really, really basic. That list breaks it down, and it's something that you should use going forward. I will say that when I did my Coach Basics a long time ago, and I finished it, and I finished the training, and I stopped using that BAT. I gradually stopped being productive in my business for a short period of time, and it's because I needed that list. I needed that checklist, because if you just follow that BAT every day, you'll hit all 3 vital behaviors. So, with that said, the BAT is really essential, and that's something that we introduced today. So I don't know, Tony, or if you want to add anything to that, or.
Yeah, when I feel like I'm in a slump in this business, it's because I'm not following my daily disciplines. So I make sure like I'm on that BAT every single day and doing those things. And a lot of times too, what gets frustrating for people is, and I tell them this business is kind of like developing a garden where you're planting seeds, and now you got to water that garden. You got to take a look at it every day. You got to water it every day. You got to do the work. And sometimes you're doing the work now that might not pay off until 3 or 4 months from now. Okay, that's okay, because once it pays you back, it's going to pay you back over and over and over again. I think people get too caught up in, I've been talking to this girl for 2 weeks and she hasn't bought anything yet. Well, that's because it takes time. It's funny. I develop relationships. I talk to people, and sometimes it takes them 6 or 7 months to come in. And then they sign up, so they just assume in 1 or 2 weeks that their friends are going to join under them. So it takes time. So if you do those things over time, are we keeping you up, Freddie? If you do those things over time, I never base my production on the amount of sales I make or the amount of coaches I bring in. I base my production on the amount of conversations I have open with new people, the amount of invites I'm giving people into a free challenge group. That's what I base my production on. If I can get my invites up to a challenge group, those sales are going to come pretty naturally once they're in that environment of people working out. So don't focus on the number of sales, the number of coaches. Focus on the number of conversations you're opening up. Focus on the number of invites. Ultimately, that's more important because once you have people in that environment where they're seeing what you're doing, and the invite could be an invite to a business opportunity, but focus on those numbers. If you get those numbers up and you're developing relationships behind the scenes, that's what's going to build a powerful business, not you selling 2 or 3 shakes in your first 2 weeks to people and then not having them be plugged into anything. So that BAT is very, very crucial. I still follow that to the T, because when I do that, I'm just much more successful in this business.
So once everyone is, having normal conversations with people, with the BAT, with one of the 3 vital behaviors is inviting. So that's what I'm talking about right now, the inviting part. So once you're having normal conversations with people, and you get to that point where you find out that they might have a wedding coming up and they want to lose some weight, or they might want to make some extra money on the side, whatever the case may be, that's when you want to get them, your message. You want to get them, what you have to offer them. So once you get them one of those third-party tools that we had talked about on day 5, we want to add them to a specific list. What I did in this boot camp is I uploaded a document called like a 10 in play list, a top 10 list. That's just something that's really basic that you add someone to, you send someone a third party tool or information about a specific program, or the business opportunity. And then you set up a time to follow up with them. So in that period of time, you want to put them on this top 10 list or this 10 in play list. And you always want to have 10 people on that list rotating in and out all the time. So we'll get into that a little bit more as the days progress. But what I gave to you was an uploaded document recently on the page, and it's called the 10 in play list or the top 10 list. That's something that I keep basic and that I utilize. But Tony, did you want to go into any of the top 10 type things that you do, or do you want to just?
Yeah, what I do is I open up a lot of conversations behind the scenes. So what I do when I post, I try to get things that people are going to like. If they like it, then I make sure, if they like it or comment on it, I make sure that I open up a conversation, even if it's something simple like, hey, Bobby, saw you like my salad picture. I really appreciate it. Hope all is going well with you. What I'm doing is I'm reopening that relationship up with Bobby. I haven't seen him in about 10, 15 years, but the fact that he liked my post on Facebook, I'm trying to reopen up that conversation. Now that I open up a conversation, not only is he more likely to see my next post on Facebook, but he's more likely to reach out with me because it's not so awkward now. Well, I haven't talked. I'm interested in what Tony has to offer, but I feel weird contacting him because I haven't talked to him in 10, 15 years. So I eliminate that by saying, hey, dude, what's up? How are things going? Okay, so what I try to do is I try to open up 10 conversations a week at the very least. If I have time, it's going to be a heck of a lot more. So, and I write all those names down. I try to open up 10 conversations, okay? And then I have my top 10 that I'm kind of working with. And once you open up conversations, I open up a conversation with Bobby. He might not mention anything about Beachbody, but that time or that day or that week, but it might come back like 3 weeks later. So I open up my 10 at least, and I have those names written down, and now I have my top 10 on the other side. That top 10 is anyone that comes back to me asking about a health and fitness question, anyone that comes back to me asking about a Beachbody product, anyone that comes back to me asking about a challenge group. Those are on my top 10 list. So I have a running page every week. So I open up 10 new conversations every week, just kind of shooting the breeze. And my goal out of those 10 conversations is to get at least half of them to commit to the next challenge group. Okay? I can open up a conversation and it might go nowhere in the fitness direction. I can always check in about 2 or 3 days later and say, hey, Bobby, nice talking to you the other night. Hey, just to let you know, my team's doing an online group where we're going to help each other stay supported, motivated, and accountable through 21 days of healthy fitness. Is that something you'd be interested in? Okay? Very simple, very neutral question. And very often he'll say, yeah, what do I have to do? And then I explain the rules. All you got to do is post one healthy meal picture a day, one workout-related picture a day. It's more of a group where we just kind of root for each other and push each other along. Yeah, sounds great. I love something like that. I'm trying to get out of my rut anyway. So open up those conversations, and then that top 10 is going to kind of come back to you. And then out of that open 10 that I do, my goal is to get 5 people committed into the next challenge group. If you get people into your challenge group over time, your business is going to grow. And if you can get 5 out of 10 people a week to commit to the next challenge group, you'll always make a paycheck over time. Okay? And then if you can get your coaches to do the same, that's when it starts growing at an exponential speed. That's how you start seeing this guy making $500 a week, this guy making $1,000 a week, this guy making $1,500 a week. It's not by what they're doing themselves. It's what everybody's working together as a team doing. But early on, you're trying to build your foundation. That foundation is going to come through your daily disciplines and invited into that challenge group.
And the next challenge group is next week, right? March 2nd for Icon?
I'm actually starting mine March 9th.
March 9th, okay.
But a lot of them are starting March 2nd.
Yeah. So there's there's challenge group starting within the next couple weeks. So this is the last working week, obviously, of the month of February. So just really push hard. And if you're a newer coach and you're not really that comfortable with just reaching out and if it's not your style, it wasn't my style at first. Reaching out to people on Facebook and just shooting the shit, lack of better terms. Just, go into it with thinking that you're just going to invite someone to a free health and fitness group. Look for people that are looking, might want to have a little extra support, or like-minded people that they want to share kind of their workouts with, whatever they may be, Beachbody related or not Beachbody related. They don't even need to know about Beachbody at first. But my point is go and see if you can start conversations with people with that mindset for the remainder of this week, and just go into the mindset of inviting people to the next challenge group, and see if they're interested in that, because that's what's going to give them exposure. Because a couple of my best coaches that I had signed up, I didn't talk to them anything about Beachbody. They just were doing their own health and fitness journey, and it took them 2 or 3 challenge groups even to even become interested in kind of Beachbody and what it has to offer. So the compound effect, just go into with a mindset of just inviting them to a free group.
Right, and you're really helping a lot of people. And think about every person that you invite to a challenge group, you could be changing a life. Even if that person's an absolute fitness freak, you know what? He's going to be the one helping other people change their lives. And how good is that person going to feel emotionally helping other people, okay? And you invite someone to a challenge group, not only may you change their lives, you might change the lives of a few people around them. Hey, I really enjoyed this group, and I think this is something my mother would benefit greatly from. You might be the person that allows that mother to live another 5 healthy years of her life, 10 healthy years of her life. So ultimately, we're helping people in this business. Don't be ashamed by what we do. This is the most powerful thing in the world. We get paid to help people get healthy. What in the heck can be better than that? So every invite that you do, you have an opportunity to change lives. We've seen so many lives change from people on our team, people that have lost 100 pounds, people that have felt so much better because they fit in clothes that they used to fit in 10 years ago that they never thought they could fit in again. People making a few bucks on the side, now they have a little bit of financial breathing room. So don't be ashamed by what we do. What we do is great. It's very powerful. And go into it thinking, I can help all these people. If you look at it like that, it's a lot easier to open up those conversations, because in your mind you're doing a very, very good thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, I always think about it as being selfish. So you don't want to be selfish. This is about other people. This is not about you. I mean, of course, you're going through your own journey too, and your own fitness journey, but the sharing of that is where the magic happens, because you can't do this on your own. And every single person that you see that is successful in this business, they all attribute it to their team. Like Tony, when you bought your new truck, you didn't say, I did this, I'm so grateful. You said, thank you to my team, because that's who really is helping you in the end. And it makes you grow as a better person too, just overall. So we got a couple of questions here, guys. Do you want me to read them out loud?
Yeah, there's a few I saw. Go ahead.
Okay, so Jessica says, what else other than Facebook has been successful in recruiting? In my local area, coaches seem to be a dime a dozen. I've been diligent in trying to expand my Facebook friend base, but any suggestions other than Facebook?
Drinking your Shakeology in public. There's going to be coworkers. If your kid has a basketball game, drink Shakeology at your basketball game. There's going to be a lot of parents there that I'm sure they could use that healthy, convenient meal on the go. That's very healthy. Just living life. You could be at the gym. You could be at a baseball game. Wherever you go, drink your Shakeology in public, or drink your water out of a Shakeology cup. That's going to expand your networks with people around you.
Yeah. Instagram is another social media outlet that I've heard a lot of people have success with. And then just like Tony said, get out there and live your life. No, get out there. There's things you can walk, talk to your personal sponsor, your coach with. I know when I first started, I was all in, and I need to get that steam back. Actually, where I was more closer to you, Erica. We had Shake and Shares, which is like a just like gatherings like at my old apartment complex of people to, you know, share kind of the opportunity with, and Shakeology, free samples. I mean, that's something that I've done in the past. There's just get out there. I mean, when you go to the store, you just talk to anyone. It's not limited to just to Facebook, although Facebook is a great tool. So there's just, sky's the limit.
That's another thing I was doing early on. I was doing shake and shares. No, and I had a huge fear of public speaking, and people don't even really know that. But I knew in order for me to grow my team, I was going to have to go to my buddy's house where he was going to invite 3 or 4 friends. And it started with going to my buddy's house, talking to him, and then going back a week later, and he brought 2 friends over, and we're talking together as a group, talking about, and now you can talk about the challenge groups and talk about how you drink Shakeology every day as a meal, show them the videos that we have as far as Kyle Dykela talking about it. But that's kind of how it started. That's how I expanded it early on. I got this business up to $1,500 without a computer. I was doing it on my BlackBerry, and a lot of it was done through the house parties, going from one house to another, and they'd have people over. So a lot of this was kind of done without Facebook. I had my friends use their Facebook to invite their friends, and we'd go there, and we just kind of have like a little social hour and mix up some samples, and people were signing up left and right. So a lot of it was done kind of like that, face-to-face.
Yeah, like I said, work with your coach if you want, but there's also some information on your back office about what a shake and share is, and they have all kinds of tools there too. But sorry, Erica, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, Freddie, you know a lot about this, and you made a video about this, the social graph. So I don't know if you touched upon that last week.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, I can go into that like when they get more familiar about kind of the new things. But as far as Facebook goes, I would just start with your current friends list, and then when that's exhausted, you can expand on that. But yeah, I can go into social graph, but I probably would need a lot more time.
Okay, maybe next week.
Yeah. Tony makes fun of me with that. He's like, just invite whoever. But the social graph is like this sketchy thing where you find random people. Just go off your friends list and your friends of friends list. But I can show some other tools too to find. You can find
also,
more people.
At work, like at your current job, a lot of people have had, like, you know, you have a lot of coworkers, a big office, maybe. A lot of people have done like the Biggest Loser challenge at their work, or, you know, you can just make a post and put it on the bulletin and say like free challenge group, 21-day challenge group for health and fitness, you know, take a tab or whatever.
And you can reach out to friends at work, whether they're in the challenge group or not, say, hey, you know what, my team's doing this 21-day challenge where we're helping people stay motivated and accountable on their fitness journey. Do you know anyone that would be interested in that? Then very often you get, yeah, I would be interested in that. Okay, great. Do you know anyone else? Yeah, my neighbor or my mother would like something like that. So Eric Worre, excuse me, not Eric Worre. Oh, man, what's his name? The 45-second presentation. Who wrote that? Yeah, you don't know. Well, he used to say he built a downline of 900,000 people, I believe, with Amway. He said, meet a friend, make a friend, meet their friends. And that's how he would expand their business. I meet Freddie. I invite him into a challenge group. Now I ask Freddie, all right, who do you have as friends and family members that would be interested in the next challenge group? Okay, make a friend, meet their friends. When you do that, it's endless the amount of people that you come across, because every time you bring in a new person, they have 1,000 new friends on Facebook that have nothing to do with Beachbody, nothing to do with any kind of network marketing company.
Christina says, I work with the elderly, so okay, maybe not. Well, it does help with regularity, so.
Hey, would your daughter be interested in doing something like this? There you go. You know, you're working with a 70-year-old woman that has a 45-year-old daughter. Hey, who knows? Roll the dice.
I know that's a terrible thing. We'll start from the top.
I work with the homeless, yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I dropped my wife off when I first moved down here. I was all gung-ho about saturating this area, and some homeless woman walked up to me in the carriage and said, "Do you have any change?" I was like, "Here, and try this. This is the healthiest meal that you're gonna have today." "Oh, thank you very much." Probably not the best. But just everybody, get excited about sharing this. So, but yeah, I would probably pick the ones that make most sense. So let's go back to the top here. So I'll read the second one. I've noticed a lot of Shakeology being sold over yard sale sites. I thought it wasn't approved. I lost it. And do I invite? I've started up conversations yet, but it's a bit discouraging. Still moving forward away. So the yard sale sites, I don't know. I do know that Tony mentioned it last week. He said, Beachbody eventually will catch on.
In 2 years, 3 years, we're never going to have to worry about that again. What's going to happen is they're not really allowing it. People are getting away with it. At the end of the day, what's going to happen is people are going to rat all those people out to compliance, and compliance is going to shut them down, and then they're not going to be coaches anymore. So they can't catch everybody right now. The internet is just a very powerful force where it's tough to kind of find everybody, but in time that'll shut itself down. And as far as I'm inviting, and it's discouraging at first, it's funny. I made $59 in my first 6 or 7 weeks of this business. And I was kind of pumped. and I think people sometimes get discouraged because we're used to going to work. I work 8 hours. You pay me your $12 an hour. I just made roughly $100. That's what we're used to. A lot of us aren't used to building a business, and we don't really realize the amount of work it takes. I got to work for months before I see a profit. Obviously, with Beachbody, because it's such a low overhead where you're only you're only paying in $4 a day. A lot of times you can see that profit a lot quicker. But someone like Erica that owned a business, you're working for years before you turn a profit on your business. If I open up a landscaping company, I got to sink in $80,000 and work for years before I start developing my garden and to have it sprout out all at the same time. So I think that's where people get frustrated. We're used to being employees. We're used to going to work. We're used to getting paid for what we do. And when you own a business, that's not necessarily how it works. A lot of times you're working early on up front to see that paycheck 5 months later, 8 months later, 12 months later. But what happens is when it pays you back in this type of business, it pays you back a lot more than the work that you put in. But a lot of times people get frustrated along the way where they quit before they ever get to see their garden flourish.
Yeah, I love the garden scenario because, well, hopefully spring is around the corner in New England.
Yeah, we'll see. No gardens this year, huh?
It may be like July, but
yeah.
What's the other scenario? It's on Facebook. It's all over Facebook, but it's like these two guys. One is digging, and he reaches the diamonds, which is pretty, fitting for our business, because it's diamonds. But then the other guy, he stopped like halfway, and then you can see the diamonds at both ends. So I'm a visual learner, so this really hit home for me. But so many people in this business, they just stop. They say, well, it's frustrating, I'm not getting paid, what I think I should get paid. But the people that stick with it, like a year or 2 years, 3 years, they get paid.
I'm overpaid. I am not worth what I get paid. I am overpaid. I used to tell people I'm like A-Rod. I'm not worth about 1/10 of what I'm paid, but I'm not going to complain. But I have seen that with my friends. They work to a certain point and then they kind of disappear. And then 2 months later, the people they were working with end up buying something off someone else because that person kind of fell off. And then they get upset. Well, I thought you were going to buy this off me. I haven't talked to you in the last 3 months. So like Erica was saying, people quit right before their garden flourishes, where to me, I was either going to pull off this business or I was going to work until I died. And that's pretty much the way it's going to be for a lot of people. We're not going to retire at 65, 67 years old. People are going to work until their early 70s. It's scary. So for me, I was going to put the work into this business because I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. I actually thought it would take me about 8 years to pull off to make about $1,000 a week. And obviously it took me a lot less time to make a lot more than that. But to me, it was either this or I work until I die, 40 hours a week in the rat race. So I wasn't in it for the short term. I was ready to get into it for the long haul. I was going to plug away. I was going to take the speed bumps. And like I said, I was giving myself an 8-year plan to make $1,000 a week.
Yeah, you were way off.
Way off. In a good way, in a very good way.
Yeah, I think you have to be a little, as an entrepreneurial mind, you have to have that somewhere in your DNA. And if you don't, you have to want to work your ass off to change your mindset, because the employee versus entrepreneur mindset is so different. And that's why Beachbody wants you to do the personal development, because when something gets in the way or you're not making as much as you think you should right away, that's when you okay, it's going to take some time, but it'll be worth it in the end, you know?
Yeah, if you watch Shark Tank, you see these entrepreneurs all the time, and they say, well, I work 20 hours a day, I do this, and the amount of work they put in, and they might not even be hitting a profit yet, but yet the sharks buy into it because they know they have a good product, they know what it takes to build a business, they know that they're buying into a hustler. That's what it takes. But like I said, once you do pull it off, nothing is going to pay you like this business. There was no way I could ever make this kind of money in my life. I had dreams of becoming a pro wrestler, and maybe if I pulled that off, I would have been paid. But at 5'8" and 210 pounds, probably. What's
your wrestling name, Tony?
It was going to be what the hell was it? I did have a name, Anthony Aggs. That was my name. Aggs was my buddy's name that passed away, and I was going to go with Anthony Aggs, and I kind of liked that name, but like I said, at 5'8" and 210 pounds, probably wasn't going to happen.
Well, good thing you found Beachbody.
Yeah, good thing.
All right, guys, I guess we'll wrap it up. If anyone has any more questions, just unmute yourself or chat. Oh, Katie, what happens when we have a team who recruits people into the group and then becomes and they want their people under them?
So well, Erica and we have like smaller challenge groups, but I know Tony, he runs like big, groups, challenge groups. I don't see how that would ever happen, like, because we know. So I'll let Tony answer that one.
Into the group.
So it sounds like other coaches are taking their prospect?
Well, yeah, that shouldn't happen. If you recruit someone into the group, then that person becomes a coach underneath you. That 100% should happen. If that doesn't happen, then there's a problem with that group, and I think you need to let the facilitator know. So what happens when you – I think what they're saying is I invite someone into the group, and they want their people to develop underneath them. That's actually what you want. I want to add Freddie into the group, and then I want Freddie to invite 5 or 10 of his friends into the group. Yeah. And when they sign up underneath Freddie. That's what I want, because now Freddie's team's growing, but at the same time my team's growing because Freddie's team is a part of mine. It says congrats on 5,000. That's how my team developed into 5,000. It's everybody working with each other. It's not, I didn't get to 5,000. There's no way in hell I could get to 5,000. But everybody doing their own little piece. But that's the ultimate goal. I invite Freddie into the group. Freddie invites 10 people. I want to help him make sales to those 10 people. I want to help him sign up those people underneath him. Because what happens is now Freddie signs up his buddy Tom. Now Tony and Freddie are trying to help Tom invite 10 people into the group. So that's how this expands, and when that expands, that's when you have passive residual income. That's when you get paid, like Alex Rodriguez. Overpaid, like Alex Rodriguez.
And that's what the beauty of this is. Like, the traditional companies that most people work for, they're all fighting against each other for promotions. We want to help each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if anybody wants to pass me, I'd love to see people underneath me pass me. I love it because I love the fire in this business. And now you see someone growing. Freddie invited 10 people. He signed up 2 coaches. Like, I'm fired up. I'm probably more fired up for Freddie than he is for himself. And now those 2 coaches are in. Let's get them invited. Okay, let's get them a few coaches. That's the power of this business, where you almost care more about other people's success underneath you, because it's just something powerful about, oh, I helped Freddie, and now Freddie's growing, and now his buddies are growing. And it's kind of like you're having kids, and you want to see your kids go off to a better college. And then when they have kids, you want to see your grandkids go off to an even better college. That's what this business is like in a lot of ways. To me, there's no jealousy. It's helping your people, help their people, and then paying it forward and keep helping people along the line.
Father Icon.
Father Icon. And I went to Bridgewater State, so I think Freddie probably went to a better school. Not to knock Bridgewater State.
All right, guys. Anyone else have any questions? All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up then. If you do have any other questions, you can post them on the page. And have a good night, guys.
Have a good night. Thank you, Freddie and Erica.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.